Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. In this video, I am going to do a faction focus on Death Guard for Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team.
The Death Guard devote themselves exclusively to the Chaos God Nurgle. Their bodies are hives of filth and decay, their flesh eternally rotting away, even as it is renewed by the ceaseless process of death and rebirth.
Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. If you're new here, please do think about clicking that subscribe button for more videos to come, because this video is a faction focus on Death Guard. Now, for any of you guys out there who know me at all, you'll know I hate playing bad guys. These to me are the scum of the universe, they're evil, but I thought, I'll paint some and I should probably do a faction focus video on them. I don't play this a lot, but I've actually played against them quite a lot, and I've been doing a lot of research on their rules and their abilities. They seem like a relatively straightforward faction to play, easy to run forward and smash and destroy things. If you've not seen any other videos in this series, check those out as well, and I will get back to you guys at the end. So let's get started. Why play Death Guard? If you like tentacles, mutated arms, pus-filled bags that used to be humans, zombies, people who don't really care if they give you a kiss when they've got the flu, then this is probably the faction for you. Skibbity-blue-blue, something else to you. Pros. Death Guard are some of the toughest models to remove in the game. They have a 3-up armor save generally, they're toughness 5, and there aren't many toughness 5 models in Kill Team, and they have the special ability Disgustingly Resilient. This gives them a 5-up feel no pain against any unsaved wound. So to kill one, you need to get through toughness 5, you need to make them fail a 3-up armor save, and they need to fail their 5+ feel no pain. Ouch. They also have the ability Inexorable Advance. This means they keep on plodding, so they can move and shoot heavy weapons without a penalty, and they can move and advance with assault weapons without any hit penalty as well. So these guys don't really stop once they get started. And finally, they have some very cheap chaff units. At 3 points a model, Poxwalkers are pretty useless with strength 3, toughness 3, 2 attacks, no armor, but they also have the Disgustingly Resilient rule, giving them a 5-up feel no pain. So you have to deal with these guys or they're going to bog you down in combat. Cons. Death Guard are relatively expensive. At around 14 points for a single Plague Marine, and going up from there once you equip them, you're not going to have very many models in your kill team. I mean, you'll have a lot of Poxwalkers, but don't expect them to do anything other than stand around and do nothing. They just won't die that easily. Death Guard are also very slow, moving around an inch slower than most other models. They're not going to get anywhere very quick, and they're kind of a close range army, relying on sort of flamers and plague belchers, that kind of stuff. Also pretty tough in combat. You've got to get there first, so make sure you're screening your guys with your Poxwalkers. And finally, I don't think Death Guard's tactics are that good. They're situational and can be handy in a bind, but you haven't got many tricks to fall back on, unlike, say, Space Marines, who have a lot of good tactics and makes them a lot harder to play against. Special abilities. Death Guard have quite a lot of abilities, so make sure you remember these or learn these when you're playing with them, because if you forget them, it will be your downfall. Inexorable Advance, like I said before, lets you move and shoot with heavy weapons with no penalty. This is great, kind of gets rid of the need for a heavy specialist, unless you want the tactics. I wouldn't really use them generally, but some people might. You can move and advance with assault weapons, so this makes your flamers and the threat range on those a lot better, because you're not a very fast moving army anyway. And it also lets you rapid fire weapons up to 18 inches rather than just 12. So bolters, plasma weapons, things like that have a better rapid fire range, again, negating some of the problems you're going to have with them being so slow. They also come with transhuman physiology. Like most Space Marines, this lets them ignore the hit penalties to the very first flesh wound. So not only are these guys toughness 5 with 3-up armor and a 5+ feel no pain, when you injure them, you need to kill them, otherwise that first flesh wound isn't going to do anything to them. Just make them a little easier to kill the next time you manage to get through those saves. Death to the False Emperor is another rule these guys come with. If you're fighting Imperium armies and you roll a 6 to hit in the fight phase, you can make an additional attack with the same weapon against the same target. These attacks themselves do not generate additional attacks, but nice if you've got say, a power fist or something and you roll that 6 to hit, you've got an even better chance of killing something. I also touched on Disgustingly Resilient, and this is a faction-wide ability, giving you a 5+ save against any wound taken. I'll go through a couple of the more useful tactics that these guys have in their faction. Teleport Strike for 1 CP allows you to deep strike any Terminator you've placed in reserve. Now, given that your Terminators are even slower than normal Terminators and will do well in combat, they come with lots of flame type weapons, you want to get them close. So for 1 CP, you can deep strike a Terminator onto the board. That's great, particularly if you want to take objectives or just kill stuff. Grasping Tentacles is another good ability. For 1 CP, you can play this at the start of the movement phase on any model of yours that is not shaken, and if it has an opposing model with 1 inch of it, they cannot fall back that turn. Very handy if you want to lock someone in combat and kill them, or you don't want them to fall back and shoot your models to death. So not only is it good defensive, it's also quite a good offensive strategy. For 1 CP, well worth it. And the last tactic I'm going to talk about is Cloud of Flies. For 2 CP, you can play this at the end of the movement phase on any model of yours, and they cannot be targeted in the shooting phase unless they are the closest models. Combined with Poxwalkers as a screen, you can protect your, say, Flails of Corruption or your other combat guys who are very slow and get them into combat without getting them blasted off the table. For 2 CP, it's quite expensive, but it might help those big guys stay around for a little bit longer. There are a couple of other decent abilities as well, but they're the ones I generally see used more often, or I personally would use myself. If you've had much luck with other ones, write it down in the comments below, let me know which tactics you quite like yourself. A standard kill team roster. I'm not really talking about commanders here because I never do, because I don't really like it as an expansion, and I think it's a bit unequal. So we're going to look at your elites and your core choices that you guys can take. A leader is generally going to be your Plague Marine champion. Give them a plasma gun. It's up to you if you want to overcharge that for that kill. It's running a bit of a risk to not die. You don't get your disgustingly resilient against that, so make sure you're careful with doing that. But plasma guns, always handy, particularly with your extended rapid fire range. A Plague Marine fighter with the flail of corruption is always a solid choice. These guys will generate hate like you've not seen before. They were nerfed slightly, so now they only do 1 damage per hit, but these can do a ridiculous amount of damage. Giving one a veteran as well can be quite handy because it gets them the extra move at the start of the game to get them even closer. Plague Marine gunners, you're looking at Blight Launchers and Plague Belchers. Make these guys demolitions or veterans, particularly for the Plague Belcher if you want to get them a bit closer. Blight Launchers are a great choice, great weapon, and you can only have 2 of these, but make sure you're using both of those in whichever fashion you like. Other than that, you're looking at Poxwalkers. Fill out the rest of your list with Poxwalkers. Make sure you've got enough of these guys hanging around to protect the rest of your army. Terminators are another good option. I don't generally take them because they're quite expensive, and these guys are more expensive than standard Terminators, but with a 2+ save and a 4 invulnerable, a 5+ disgustingly resilient, pretty handy. The Teleport Strike strategy for 1 CP does work very well with these guys. If you're going to take them, maybe take one, get it in close, make sure you're picking the right spot to land it so it doesn't get blasted apart, and have fun with it. But plasma guns, Blight Launchers, Plague Belchers, Flails of Corruptions, you can't really go wrong. Well, there you have it. That's another faction-focused video in the can. I've done a fair few now. If you've not watched them, do check them all out in the playlist. I'll leave it up top there. It's quite fun. I'm always learning something new in these, and I hope you guys do too. New players, really, really helpful for, but even advanced players, it just brings up abilities I've not normally thought about or different ways to play. If you guys play Death Guard, leave me some comments below. Tell me how you play them, what sort of loadouts you're going for, what teams, what tactics you enjoy, because it's kind of a really good learning experience for everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the alarm bell for more videos to come. Check out my Patreon below as well. There's a good Discord group going with that now, and it's really handy. We're all helping each other out with painting stuff, tactics, basing, all kinds of things, and it helps me as well. So thank you very much to all of my patrons. Check out the links below for Element Games if you buy your models. There's a small affiliate link there, and the same with Grim Dice Gaming over in Grimsby. These guys are great friends of mine. Nice independent shop. Use the coupon BWG or Broadsword when you're checking out, and I get a small cut there as well. So that's all I've got to say. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in another video. Take care.